Chini ya Maji podcast.
Yes, by Mark and Mumbi. We're excited to be back, and this time we're coming back with our speaker series where we have a founder and he'll introduce himself and then we can get started.
I'm Mwaniki Gichuru, and I'm the co-founder of a company called Easy Church. Easy Church is a cloud-based solution that helps with church administration, church management, and a bit of donations there. So it's just like a CRM system for churches.
Yeah, cool. So just to tell you guys a bit of a background. So we had done this recording before, right. And then Mark somehow found a way to screw it up. So we had to bring Mwaniki back. So yes. Mwaniki is supposed to be the first founder series we did. So right now we're just like, he has an amazing story that has to be told. So this is round 2. Right. So let's pray that Mark doesn't do it again.
Yes. Yeah, no, the first story was actually pretty well told, right? I remember. So hopefully you'll be able to
retell.
Yeah,
anecdotes that were there. We'll try.
Awesome, great. So one of the things that epiphanies we had was we were thinking about how do we structure our conversations with founders, right? Because just conversations when it comes to when you look at how startups are built, they tend to follow a certain kind of process that's very predictable, if you will, right? And so we quickly saw that a systematic entrepreneurship framework is a great way to have these conversations with founders, right? Because the step-by-step process is actually the way companies should be built, right? When it's done right. And so we thought we would use a systematic entrepreneurship framework. It's got about 12 different modules or steps, if you will. We'll be using that today to kind of talk about your story and kind of see how it works. So this is the first time we're testing this out. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Super excited though. Yeah.
So cool. So I guess the first thing is to start off, right, is always at the beginning, right? And that's the step number 1 in any startup story is the ideation and the formation, right? Okay. And that's consistent with the module number 1 in our systematic entrepreneurship framework. So tell us the idea and who and how and why of your story.
Okay. So my co-founder and I, my co-founder is called Tony. We were both living in Australia at the time. I'd come home on holidays one December and I'd been following up also online and hearing about fintech and how mobile money and how the payment space is evolving. Yes. So once I came home that December, I thought maybe there's something here we can do. We can attack in fintech because fintech is big. And the good thing I liked about it was that the infrastructure was there because of M-Pesa. And even the card companies and also the devs were there. So it was something that you could, possibly do and do it to fruition, as opposed to trying to do something else. So I thought in fintech, it's already sort of good enough for us to do something about
the ecosystem around the fintech play.
The fintech players,
was
mature,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so to speak. Right?
Then for other things, blockchain or whatever, So while we're in it, we're still looking into what we could do. Can we do something that helps you pay for goods and services in installments? That was part of the ideation. That's now I'd gone back, so we're discussing with him, can we do something for goods and services in installments? We realized that might not work because we needed a good credit scoring system, and that time there were none that were easy off the shelf ones that you could get. So we sort of put that aside. Now it's okay, now you can find something for credit scoring. Then while we were still looking, we saw there was a company that was doing payments in the religious space for charities and NGOs. And then we looked at what they were doing. They had started in New Zealand, they were now big in Australia, where we were based. That was around March. So I'd come home in December, that was around March. And the idea was now, we had until that coming December to come up with the idea and start the prototype and build something. And once I come, we are ready to launch. So we looked into that company doing payments. They were only doing just payments on its own to churches, charities, and NGOs. Then we said, okay, this can work. In Australia, New Zealand, the rest of the Western world, churches they are big, but they're not growing.
Actually dying, right?
Yes. But here back home, the numbers are huge. Yes. So we were like, okay,
it's an industry unto itself. Right?
Yes. If we can help people donate easier to churches, maybe we are onto something.
Yeah. So the total addressable market was sizable and kind of robust enough to say, it's worth spending time trying to solve something here.
Trying to solve, yes. Because we just looked at it and we just did even just like a small check, just a small check. How many churches do you know that are within where you live?
Right.
Just around where you live.
Right.
He's from Kericho, and I'm from here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
How many churches do you know?
Right.
And I think we both knew like just 30, just around where we are.
Wow.
Like, okay.
Wow. There you go.
This is
Market right there.
This is a good enough market. Yes.
So I guess to kind of follow this a little bit more closely. So you guys knew each other before. How did you and your
So he's like a big techie person.
Okay, so you were the technical side.
Yeah. And why I reached out to him because he had also started a business.
Okay.
He had done a startup, but he was running it from abroad. He was running it from Australia. It was here. It was like a loyalty systems play where you could go to Java or Fuel at a supermarket and collect points. And he was doing that like in 2013, 2014. So a bit ahead of his time. So it didn't quite work out because he was there and he was trying to run it remotely.
Which doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
You gotta commit to something.
Yes. Because I've realized, even a startup, even when you're there at 100%, it still might not work.
Yeah.
It's still hard.
It's so hard.
So if you're there at 25%, it definitely
Or
works.
0% in
Or
this
zero.
case.
Yes. Yes, but I reached out to him because he had like just the background. He knew the ups and downs.
Landscape.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So he would have helped us navigate all the drama of the startup world. Yeah. So we banded with him a bit. Then we settled on that solution that was going to be just it was just going to be an app that makes it easier for you to donate to churches,
So
charities,
tithing or the weekly kind of
weekly kind of giving, and then the church would get a nice report, and it would give you reminders, and you could pay by card. It was wonderful. Yeah.
The idea looked amazing on paper.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, and then we found devs out of India because that time we were still in Australia. We found a very good company. We sort of told them we just need a clone. So there's this product here. We need a clone of it, and we need now to integrate, to make it like ready for Kenya. Integrate with M-Pesa and a few other things. So we started that around June of 2019, 2017. So it took us maybe 6 months to get the whole product ready. That coincided with me now coming home for good. So I landed here in DEC of 2017. Quickly scouted where we can find an office, so there were the co-working areas around, and that also just kind of confirmed what we had thought, that Kenya is is startup ready. There's all these co-working areas available. There's all this technical capacity. Yes, there's all these. The net speeds are good. So we knew, yes, the fact that there's all this, as I said, co-working areas shows you that we are sort of ready.
Right.
So
Vibrant ecosystem.
yes, vibrant ecosystem. There's all these meetups and all these things. Yeah.
So, question for you. So it's you guys actually conceptualize the problem and the solution, because it's pretty obvious. Like, you can help these guys automate some of their weekly giving.
Yeah.
And then you wireframed or kind of designed the product in Australia.
In Australia, yeah.
Threw it to a dev team in India.
Yeah.
And had them build your prototype.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now you showed up at JKIA with
Yeah, I'm with a dream. Yeah.
With
With
your
a backpack.
with your prototype in your back.
Yeah.
You're about to tell the students about how to change your life. I'm about to change your life.
Yeah. With a backpack and a dream, and we're going to change everything. Yeah.
Churches have never seen anything like this.
Yeah. It's amazing how, like, before you talk to like your first customer, how you live, you sort of live in a very idealistic world, and then you hit first contact to the first customer. And then you realize, wow, there's nothing I was doing.
like Tyson says, every fighter has a plan until you get
punched in the face. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yes, and we really got punched. Yes, so we've landed, and then now the prototype is ready. It took us maybe another month or so, or maybe 2 months to get it now the M-Pesa ready. Then I'd spoken to a few churches. The good thing that I had done is that I used to go around with my laptop, and I had an Excel spreadsheet of every conversation that I had, and like the key points and the key things the churches would ask for.
Okay.
So I went to the first church. Is actually a nice guy, a very forward looking pastor. So he listened to what I was saying, and I told him, okay, this is the app. I did the demo, and it's going to make it easier for people to pay. And I showed him the back end, and he was like, wow, this is nice, but okay, what if it could do like member management? Because I'm having an issue with member management. I have all these members, and they are in all different cell groups. And I only use WhatsApp WhatsApp is the only tool that I know
how to communicate,
coordination,
and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Right.
But right now, if you ask me how many members we have, I'd give you like a rough, a rough number, best guess, or which member is in which group. Yes. So basically, he had told me that
the problem.
That a problem that was really, a big pain point. That if I created value or something for him, it would be something he'd look into.
Right, right.
So I wrote that down, and I said, okay, member management, okay, yes. Yes. Then I went. Then he said also things like, what if we could do like daily devotionals, send out daily devotionals, What if we could send out sermons, audio, video?
Wow, so he was actually building out some kind of product direction.
Exactly, But that would just be awesome. Yes. Then, so I wrote all that down, but because in my mind I was
married to your
product. Yes, I was like, it's payments. Why can't you see? Why can't you see? Why can't you see what we've done? We've got like the best dev team in India. We've done all this. Look at how good it looks. Yeah.
So in the spirit of following the systematic leadership framework, so we've talked about the ideation, the formation, you and your partner. Why now was because fintech and that whole M-Pesa story and co-working spaces, the ecosystem was ripe. So one of the things we did talk about was alignment and formation, but we can talk about that later, right? But now you've kind of gone on to the next step, which is market research, or in your case, lack thereof.
Yes.
So you entered the market with a product.
Yes.
Without any kind of initial market research, other than sitting in Australia in a garage somewhere.
And a whiteboard. And a whiteboard and coding and reading all these PowerPoints and all these.
All this research.
Exactly. 10-point steps on how giving is happening in Kenya.
But you've not talked to your.
Yes, we hadn't spoken to anyone. Yes.
So I guess this is very important because one of the things that we see all the time, right, is the same kind of cadence, right? How people move through this process. They really do not. They have an idea and they go build a product. And then they get punched in the face. And they still keep insisting that you are. This is very, very standard operating procedure in our market in terms of how people are trying to do things. Right? So, so I guess the question I would ask is, continue with the narrative and how did that progress and
go forward. Yes. So as I said, so probably now because we were married to our idea.
Right.
And that happens a lot. I've noticed it. It happens a lot, but not just in this ecosystem. That's a lot of startups. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
You come up with an idea, you rapidly come up with a prototype, and you see how it will solve things, and then let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And that is actually to your point. That's so true that it happens everywhere, and that's where an organization such as Y Combinator has been so successful, because it has helped founders really get real about what's real, right? And given them an environment and access to people who've actually been there, done that, to just tell them they're crazy when they're crazy, right? And so previously, without such organizations that can come early in the life cycle of a company, to have that very very hard conversation or clear conversation about what's real and what's not real. A lot of people, I mean, if you look at their top 100 companies, right? They just printed this list of their top 100 companies. Number one, I think, is Airbnb. Number two is Stripe, and so on and so forth. And all those founders were not experienced founders. They were people who were doing things for the first time. You can just see that their results speak for themselves, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an argument that can be said. Without YC, would we see those types of outcomes?
That honestly be hard, and to that point, like, they keep talking a lot about interaction with the customer. That's important. That's your person. And actually, talking about Stripe, I was watching sort of an interview about like the Stripe co-founder, and they were talking about how in the fast period, like even after they were gaining traction, they would randomly show up to like literally install things like on the computers of like the customers. Because once you're doing it and you're on the ground, you don't, at that point they didn't even need to do it. But then they were literally that hands-on with the process, because now once you're even doing like even with their APIs, and they were literally that hands-on, such that every time someone made an API request, it would come to like the founders.
Inbox. Give me an alert.
You have to be that hands-on, because until a company gets to a certain level, you need to understand every challenge that your customer is facing. You need to be in their head. You need to be in their minds.
Because that's your product direction.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Customers tell you everything. I think the only drawback is, as founders, especially in the tech space, you always say that you keep your customer, like, in the middle of everything that you do, but when you're starting out, you ignore them. Everyone, but I guess it's very few people who actually follow that mantra. Many founders will be of the opinion that, okay, I've seen this thing and I can solve it, and once the customer just sees how
they'll fall in love.
Great it is.
They'll fall
in love with it, because even though we had said we'll keep the customer, in the middle of everything,
you didn't.
And we listen to their feedback and everything, we promptly, that went out the door. As soon as we saw the first prototype and how good
you get
it looked,
excited, you're like, hey,
because I remember even now we've even spent like a whole day on like the buttons. How should the buttons look?
Oh, wow.
This color is not as good. When I look back at that, I'm like, wow, we spent a whole day. Talk about UX and things that don't matter.
Wow.
So anyway, so we landed. I spoke to that first church. Then I spoke to a few others. Some were even like very candid, because they gave me time, which actually shocked me. They gave me time and they listened, and even one is the one who told me, okay, this is nice, but it's like number 16. I think he told me it's like number 16 out of 20. You're solving problem number 16 out of 20.
Wow, for them.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
But my problem is, and he came to the same thing, member management, sermons, whatever. And so even when I had the spreadsheet, all you could see, there was like a theme. There was like a general thing. If you did that, remember when we were kids, there was like that crossword thing that used to come on Nation, and you're supposed to highlight like a name, like jumbled names. If you could highlight the same things: member management, engagement.
So it was right in front of us.
It was right in front of us, yes. But I said, because we were still married to the idea, we said, it's okay. So we launched the product. Yes. Yeah.
So you did not make any changes?
We didn't make any changes in spite of all this feedback that we had.
Wow.
Yes. So we launched the product, and then you get that first spike. Your mom is happy.
Your family is using it. They love your buttons.
And downloading.
friends, they love the button. They said, I think it's built nicely. So we launched, we got like the first 1 week, there was like 50 downloads. Then like week 2, it spiked a bit. Then we went hard to the media, all our media contacts. We are here, guys. We're going to change the church game. We got an article on the Standard, on the Hustle. I think it's the Hustle magazine. That spiked the numbers a bit. Then after that, they just cratered. Yes.
Boom.
Yes. So we launched around May. So May we were good. Then May, June, we got the thing in the papers. Then that time you still have that buzz.
Yeah.
My uncles are like, oh, we're very proud of you. My mom is using it.
They invite you to have, talks
to the others.
provide guidance to the families.
Become a mentor.
Become a mentor.
Now Africans like talking for long. Now, what we're going to do...
To the other kuzos who finished at Silicon Science, come and talk to them. And it was all a lie. So the numbers came down. Boom. Then we were like,
all the meetings stopped.
Meetings. We're like, what should we do now? What's happening?
So let's kind of move on to the next kind of step in the systematic improvement. So this is basically it's customer value proposition.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You had not kind of maybe, in a sense, provided something valuable to the customer based on initial spike and drop.
Yeah.
So the value proposition was on the spreadsheet, but not in the product.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So we had all the data. Yeah. So we quickly said, okay, we need to rejig this thing. Payments on its own won't work, and we have all the data here. So we need to go back and fix it. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was May, June, July. So we had the first product out for 3 months. And the good thing is that we took our losses, we took our L, and we realized this won't work.
Iterate quickly.
Yes. So
but you really had no choice. I mean.
Yeah. The market always
They could
wins.
have always tried Uganda,
Yeah.
Let's get another spike in it.
The market always wins.
Yeah.
So then, towards now customer value, the customer had clearly said, these are the things that are our big problem.
Right.
So now we went back and then we added some of those features to the initial payments product. Now built like a nice CRM system. Yes. So just the same way you have like a CRM at work, or whatever, Salesforce, HubSpot. Yes. So we built that. And then now it's linked to an app. So the church member gets an app where you can get your daily devotionals. You can still tithe on it. So our first product is maybe only 5% of
the
final product. Yes. And then the church gets a nice back-end CRM. And how we noticed we might be onto something was, even during the dev part of it, we did like some screenshots of how the backend looks, and just like screenshots of the app, and then I took it back to those people I had spoken to, because I'd spoken to quite a few churches to try and get them to sign up to the first product. Like 60. I'd really pounded the pavement. Wow. Yes, because we were trying to get them all to sign up to the first product.
Right.
So when I went back to them and I told them, okay, now you have to come back humble. I remembered what you had said, and you said if we could address some of these things, you might want to sign up, or you listen. So just even with a screenshot of this is how the backend looks. If you click here, and it was just a screenshot. Yeah. If you click here, you can key in a sermon, and then it will show up on the app here. So like, yes, see now
we're talking.
Now you're onto something. Yes. Okay. Now, yes, yeah. Rudy Jikoni, get that ready, and then come. So that took us another maybe month or so of dev work. Then now the product was ready in October, and that's now what we've been we've been outselling. Yes.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I guess it naturally leads to the next step again, the customer acquisition process. So now you got the value proposition right. You know, people are kind of saying, okay, this is what we want.
Yeah.
You're solving a real problem that's ours, not yours.
Yes. Yes.
So now the customer acquisition process. Now you've got something that people can actually, in a sense, pay for or see value in.
Yeah.
What was that like? What's been your customer acquisition process?
Yeah. So at the beginning it was like sort of haphazard. So we would just talk to like any and every church, and I spoke to my cousins and friends who are well connected in the church scene, and they'd send us a spreadsheet, and then we'd just go out and talk to everyone. Then after a while, with like the salesperson, we have like a person who makes the sales calls, and we sat down and we said, okay, no, we can't just, I guess, talk to everyone. We need like
So just in terms of the structure, you have somebody who is this how you started initially? Did you have a sales structure in place where you had an inside person scheduling meetings?
Yes.
Or did you evolve to that?
Yes, we evolved to that. So the initial process was the sales. We had a salesperson whose job was just to call and schedule meetings, and then we would all go and do the presentation, the demo, yes, and then see if they'd sign up. And then after a while, it sort of moved to the inside salesperson calls and schedules for a meeting, and then I go and do the presentation. But we still didn't have any sort of market segmentation. We didn't know who the ideal church was. So we were just talking to everyone, big churches, small churches, peri-urban, urban, and everything. Yeah. So then just one day over brainstorming, we were like, our product is like for digital engagement. It's supposed to make church leaders, it's supposed to make church members engage better with their church leaders, and vice versa, using a sort of digital way. So we probably need to talk to churches. The first set of churches, like a beachhead that we need to talk to, would be those that have sort of like a digital presence. Yes. So digital presence means they have a Facebook page. If they had content on YouTube, then we definitely want to talk to you. If we went on their Facebook page and we saw they had like a band and they had a church with TVs and all of that, we're like, yeah, we can talk to you. If they had a website, we'll talk to you. So we gradually sort of found the people who we should.
Where it made sense.
Yes, for our limited resources, for who to talk to them. Yes. So that was how the evolution went. Yes.
The customer acquisition kind of theory worked out.
Yes. Then we said like a minimum. So let's talk to churches that are over 100 members, if possible.
And let me ask you this: what was that timeline between just talking to everybody and actually having a much more kind of a
structured approach? Okay.
Identifying a beachhead market. What was that?
Yes.
What was that?
So I think that took us maybe 6 weeks to 2 months of just trial and error until we found that. And actually towards the end is when I came and I met you guys, and you sort of helped us come up with a better structure. Yes. But the thing is that the answers were always there. It's just that sometimes we ignore them. Yes. The out of all the churches that we're talking to at the beginning, the ones that were most receptive were the ones that had the Facebook,
that had digital presence,
a website, the pastors who are on TV and everything. Then sort of the smaller ones weren't that receptive. They would always say, okay, this is good, but let us grow and everything.
It's not on their kind of short-term priorities. So I guess we're kind of getting close to the end of it here. Maybe just give us a sense of now how things have evolved since we made that change, and where you are now, and kind of like what you see for 2019.
Okay. The good thing is that now we have sort of a nice structured sales system. We even found like some free sales CRM where you can have like a sales funnel. So we know all the churches that we want to target, and then how to move them from just prospects all the way to close. Yes. But the issue that I keep finding is So the first 2 that we've signed up, the good thing is that one of the first churches that signed up is like a big top 10 church, which sort of gave us even that energy, that side to keep going. Yes, yeah. If they like this, then it can work. Yeah. Because now once you sign up, there's it's like maybe 30 to 45 day turnaround before now the app is ready and everything. So one of the things that I've noticed is well, let me not even say in Kenya. We have a thing where people always want someone else to use something before they use it.
Right.
Yes. So in like our sales funnel, I've gone and I've spoken to quite a few churches, and then they're always like, okay, this looks nice. Who is using it? Then I always tell them, okay, these are the 2 that have signed up, but it's not live yet. Once it goes live, then you can see it. But you can see it on my phone, and you can see everything. And they're always like, okay, yes, yeah. Once it goes live, then we can talk. Yeah, there's always that thing of let me first. I don't want to be the first person. Yes, yeah. First, yeah. If someone else likes it, then that will happen. Yes, but at least we have like a nice structured system. And then the good thing is, everyone we talk to, all the questions they ask help us.
Refine.
Yes, refine it, yes. So now even how we cold call, we have a nice cold calling script, which lands us meetings. At the beginning, we weren't even getting meetings. Now we land, I think it's out of every 10 we call, I think it's now 6 we get a meeting, which is good. Yeah, and then the other 4 we can always harass them later. And then now to move them across, yes.
So if you look at where you were when you landed at JK, back
yeah.
and where you are right now,
yes.
How would you compare those 2? How would you describe the difference?
Yes, yeah. I'd say, it's like what I know. I'm very different from how I came. The main thing that I think I have now is that whole idealism that I had from before of how a startup is, how it works. Yes, because before, you had it from reading books and seeing how it works. But now I have a newfound respect of how the process works, and even a better respect for founders who've actually started companies and have scaled them. Actually, even to just 10, even if you have just like 10 employees, you're a winner. Because I realized it's hard, it's challenging, but also if you try and learn early and iterate early. And learn these experiments, because I guess a startup, it's an experiment.
It's a series of experiments.
Yes, yeah. Once we solve this, then there's something else, then we need to solve for it, and we keep moving. Yes.
And so in terms of just kind of like being in Nairobi and being around the ecosystem, what have been some of the most supportive, helpful kind of? I know you work at Nairobi Garage. I'm sure working with other entrepreneurs has been good. What other support structures or resources have been helpful for you?
That have been helpful. Okay, yes. So it's good that I'm in the Nairobi Garage, and it's a good co-working place, because there's all these like talks that happen, and all these other entrepreneurs and people who even want to come from abroad and just want to touch base. Then also within the space, there's all these other young people you can bounce off ideas. So it's nice that I'm there, because there's people who you can talk to who can tell you, okay, that might not work, and they're genuine about it. Just and then now there's you guys now. There's Impact Africa, helping just to try and shorten the learning curve. Yes, but I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed with how we are at Silicon Savanna, where I just used to read about it, and then you'd be happy as a Kenyan. Kenya, we are doing well. Yes, yeah. Then now that I'm here, I'm like, wow, there's people who are doing like big things. Yeah, trying to change how things work, and with like just world-leading startups, things from right here in Nairobi.
So you see the future is bright in our ecosystem.
Yes.
There's definitely, I would definitely second that. I think we are at Silicon Savannah 2.0, and I think we're at an inflection point right now, right? You can just see that people are not taking they're not how would you say they're not looking at the world like with with just kind of like naivety, but they're a bit more battle-hardened. They have experience. They've made mistakes, right? They've learned that this thing is not just you gotta get serious about what you're trying to do, and so there's definitely a difference. I guess I would say, from what I wasn't part of the initial, experience, but you can see those people who are part of that.
Have come
the next level.
Actually, I think the last article I've done is about how me looking at what is going to be the next generation of people. Everyone I know, I just sat one day and it hit me. Everyone I know is working in a startup, and not my friends. Like literally everyone I know. Like people are making transitions that are very interesting. People are they're looking for startup experience. It's more challenging. It's more
rewarding.
You're working. You're building something. Right. So it's a very interesting trend, and I'm so curious to see where we're gonna be in 5 years.
No question about that. I mean that's kind of my having spent 15 years out there in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, I can tell you. I mean, this place feels like San Francisco in a lot of ways. Because, like you said, every other person you meet, at least in our world, right? Works at a startup, or has an idea, or is doing something.
Someone you're meeting randomly. Like you just meet someone you haven't seen in 5 years. What are you doing? Man, I'm head of sales for this startup. I'm doing data here. I'm a techie here. It's very interesting.
It's an interesting time. And so, with that said, I mean, like our vision is 10 to 15 years. We want to be part of that. Building that future.
Exactly.
And, my biggest concern is that energy that's out there and that desire needs to be shepherded in the right direction so that we do not, I guess, as an ecosystem, as a community, as a society, we do not repeat the same performance over the last 10 years, but we can actually manifest success at a level that can shock the world.
Exactly.
Because the talent is there, the opportunities are there.
Exactly.
We just need to kind of change our mindset and kind of make it happen.
100%. And people are building actual solutions to actual problems.
Right.
So it's just giving them a sense of direction.
Right.
This is the best way to kind of go about it. We can
Support
run experiments
them.
and exactly that.
So I think it's good you mentioned like we are like at an inflection point. Because if we look at, I guess, how things were working before, you'd start, you'd do well, and then the thing would die. But now that we're in that inflection point, I guess we need to see what's that X factor that will make now the difference. The difference, And I guess it's the things you point about, just structure, like advice, good advice. And it's, I think, something you mentioned another time when we spoke that there's the advice that you get, you need to be very mindful as a founder on who's sort of giving you that advice. And it's something you said even on YC that the Sun Microsystems founder, Vinod, was talking about. If you're a startup, the person who's giving you advice needs to have earned the right to give you that advice. Yes.
Right.
So like in our case where we are at, we are worried about a burn rate. Maybe we only have 2 months. How are we going to make payroll? Then I need to go and talk to someone who's been there. What did you do when you only had 3 more months to live? What did you do? We cut this cost. We did this. We did this. Exactly.
I mean, so what we do at Impact Africa Network is really to try and create structures and support infrastructure as well, right? To people with experience, bring them in a structured way to support the journey of entrepreneurs. We're a startup ourselves, so we're actually going through this process ourselves, and it's just an exciting time to be in Africa. It's an exciting time to be in Kenya. It's an exciting time to be in Nairobi, and we definitely it's a promising future. So, and I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come back again.
Second time.
Yes.
Second time lucky.
Second time is a chance.
And I think this is good. They usually say sequels suck, but I think this sequel will be good.
Godfather 2 was better. You can check us out at website impactafrica.network. Then on Twitter, IN Network Tweets, and then Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, Impact African Network.
Yep.
So hit us up. We love hearing back from you. We get excited. So feed us with that energy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.